A final attempt to form a coalition government in Greece now lies with the president. In a last-ditch effort, Karolas Papoulias is scheduled to meet party leaders on Sunday to cobble together an emergency administration. If he fails, Greeks will be going back to the polls for the second time in weeks. This follows the failure of the PASOK party leader Evangelos Venizelos to create a coalition, with 3 rounds of negotiations proving fruitless.
Democracy, PASOK and Democratic Left agreed to the possibility of a coalition government of the pro-European parties with a 2-year mandate under the condition that the country remains in the euro and tries to improve the terms of the bailout agreement so that Greece can again become independent and robust. But the basic precondition was the participation of Syriza in this government. I have discussed this issue with Mr. Tsipras. I haven't received a positive answer. However, I believe that's where your efforts should be focused during the negotiations under your presidential auspices.
You are telling me there are signs of optimism, and I hope I can contribute to the formation of government, because things are rather difficult.
All right, let's join Jazeera's Tim Friend in Athens. Tim, a lot of pressure now on the president. Will he be able to convince the political leaders to put their differences aside and form this emergency cabinet?
Well, he'll certainly give it a good go. But I think the prospects of him succeeding, and it's not just my opinion, the opinion of many observers and analysts here, is that the outlook is not really optimistic, because the differences between those 3 main parties is so large, or at least between the bulk of them and one of them, the radical left, is so large that I don't think that bridge can be reached, and it's a step too far. So I think we are probably going to have new elections here in the middle of June.
If elections were to be repeated in June, Tim, what would change?
Well, that's a very good question, and many people here would guess, and they may well be right, that all you would get, possibly, is a reversal of the 2 lead positions. In other words, the radical left may well get the most votes, but not an absolute majority, and the mainstream conservatives would come second. So effectively they're left back in the position they're in now, where they would have to start talking about agreements. And those huge points of difference with the radical left, who want to see the bailout and austerity deal torn up and renegotiated, would remain. So even the election may not achieve any conclusive result.
And you wonder really if Greece can wait until June to save itself economically.
Well, this is the real problem, because while all this talking goes on and while all the campaigning, if there was another election, was going on, the real day-to-day issues would continue. That is, implementing the austerity here in return for more money. And already the Germans, who of course have been the lead in all this in Europe, have already said, if you don't stick to the deal, the terms of the original deal and all the austerity, then there'll be no more money. And in fact, they've started to go further and hint that perhaps Europe could survive without Greece. And I think that would really give cause for thought here.
Okay, Tim, thank you very much. Jazeera's Tim Friend live for us in Athens.